You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm William.
Wait, there's
William over there. Over there in the corner, throwing dice.
Throwing dice, trying to get Rob to break stuff again. All right, folks, we are back. It is Thursday night.
Wah, wah, wah.
Bing, 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 bing. Call-in show night.
Call-in show.
So we're going to get this phone opened up. Today's topic, if you can't tell by the back of the board behind us, is Roll and Write games.
Roll and Write. There's a Roll and Write called Roll and Write, but we'll get into that later.
Is it really?
Yeah. This guy's named Roland Wright.
Oh, that's so punny.
Wow.
Yeah, Roland Wright.
Hi, Roland.
So sad.
And on a side note, we just finished our last game for anybody who's been keeping track of Betrayal Legacy. We fit that in. We actually got done about 5 minutes before we went on the air tonight, so we actually had a few extra minutes. Woohoo!
I'm still stunned that you didn't spill a drink this
Yeah, well,
week.
it's because we had an extra 5 minutes. If it was down to 30 seconds like it was last time, then or 2 times ago, we'd be spilling drinks. But we have finished, and we'll have to give some quick impressions on that as well at some point. But
Yeah, we're going to talk, depending on how the phone call conversation goes, I figure we'll do our Roll and Write conversation.
this is kind
Hopefully,
of a rolling right
there's a lot of rolling.
and some writing.
And some writing.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're right. You are right.
Yeah.
And we are going to talk about the Roll and Write games, hopefully take some of your calls on your favorite Roll and Writes, why or why you don't like Roll and Writes, right?
Yeah.
Why or why not?
Some people don't.
And some people really don't. And
Yeah.
what you don't like about them. And then if time dictates, we can talk about games that we played recently. I know we still haven't had a chance to really talk about our last game day. The three of us were there. We played a lot of games at game day, so we can at least go through and converse about some of the games that we played.
Cool.
But I have opened up the phone line. 813-618-7099 is the phone line, the hotline for the Beans and Dice podcast.
Yep. Don't hesitate to call. If you got something you want to get on the air, you want to get out there right away, give us a buzz. Again, it can be about Roll and Writes. It can be about whatever. If you don't want to talk about Roll and Writes, just we're always here to talk about what you want to talk about. So anything new you've acquired in your collection that you want to tell us about, something you've recently played for the first time, something you've played for the 100th time, one of your favorite games, just call and let us know. We want to chat about whatever you want to chat about, I think. Usually. Yeah.
Yes, Robert.
Usually.
I'm going to put the chat up on the big screen behind us.
Okay, cool. So people get in there on the internet chat. If you, for whatever reason, you don't want to call or you can't call, always hit us up on the chat. We'll read comments. We'll respond as we go along, as we normally do. So
There it is. Chat's up on the board.
very cool.
Looks like Michael Lorenzo is already in the chat.
Oh, very nice, Michael.
I'm not surprised because he is a lover of Roll and Writes.
I'm not sure how much we talked about it, but Michael relocated. He was here in the Tampa area for a number of years, was part of our game group here, and then just a little over a week ago, I guess it is now, or about a week ago.
Don't make me sad.
Relocated. I mean, it's a downer part of the show.
It is.
But he moved out to the Seattle. I don't know if it was exactly Seattle or the Seattle area. Maybe Mike can chime in. But glad you're able to chime in tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I wonder if he can call in from that far away, you know. It's
I don't know. It's like you have to put it in a can and carry it on horseback, and then...
I think we call it Beans and Dice West.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And
Okay.
That's where he's from. We're franchising.
Yeah, we're moving.
It's
We're moving.
Beans and Dice West now.
We're going places. Branching out. got a
looks like we got a
call
call coming in. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Mitchell, Louisiana.
Hey, Mitchell.
How's it going?
I think you creep him out every time you do that, Robert.
Yeah, I stop him right in his tracks. Hey! Kind of like Krusty the Clown. Hey!
Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Nick.
Something like that. Something. Or no!
I appreciate the enthusiasm.
Hey, there you go. That's what it is. Pure enthusiasm. I like hearing from you every week.
It could be the crack cocaine, but
No, thanks.
Yeah, it could be. So what have you been up to, Mitchell?
Not playing Roll and Writes. I feel like we talked about Roll and Writes a while back,
Yeah.
and I chimed in about how it wasn't something that piqued my interest. You're going to kill me on this one. I don't think I've ever actually played one because they just don't intrigue me whatsoever.
Never? Come on. You've played Yahtzee before. I mean, that's like what the original Roll and Write, right?
we're done with you.
There you
No, I don't think I've ever even played Yahtzee.
Really?
What? Whoa, whoa.
Oh. All right,
This phone call's over.
Get it out of your system. Yeah, there we go.
I didn't call in just to get bullied. Come on, guys.
Oh no, you're not getting bullied.
Now-
Not yet.
Since I feel like not yet. Oh gosh, what's in store?
No.
A while back, I think it might have been on the audio only podcast. You guys were talking about cryptographers. I have played that based on you guys' recommendations there. Actually, I know that's not technically a rolling right. It's what a flipping right. And I
Flippin'
did
Phil.
really enjoy
Flippin'
that.
Phil, they call him. Yeah.
Flippin'
Flippin'
Phil. It's a guy I went to college with.
What's the
He
difference?
loved Phil. He loved to do flips. It was amazing.
Oh my God! Stop.
The difference, usually, flips would be cards. Roll and rights are usually dice. Flipping fills. It's
Well,
just.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
But what is Phil versus right?
Oh, it's just
They're both
because
the same.
It's the alliteration. Because you roll and write, flip and fill. That's
I
all.
see.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. English is not my first language. Trademark Beans and Dice.
Man, the other day we were filming a board game battle episode, and I don't remember what happened. Connor stumbled over his words, and he was like, "Man, I should have said English is not my first language."
Oh, there you
That's
go.
my man.
That's a Carlos
But
thing.
English is his first language, so I guess you probably should.
You can say it anyway.
Yeah.
You're part of the trademark.
Yeah.
but-
So. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have much to say on the topic, but I figured I played a lot of games at Gen Con that I haven't really gotten to talk to you guys about yet because
Yeah.
I've been busy the last few weeks. So I figured I might bring up at least one of them.
Okay.
So how about I'll bring up? I've talked a little bit about Red Cathedral. Let's go Tortuga 1667. So this is the same publisher. I don't know if you guys have seen some of their other games like Salem or Bristol. They all fit. It's like a little book. What's the name of the publisher? I'm trying to remember.
I'm pulling it up here. I'll have it in
There's-
just a
there's-
second.
So the storage solution is really cool, but there's a lot of game in this small area. Let's see, this
Is it facade games?
facade game.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And so, and Will actually played this one with me. We did a demo of it at Gen Con. I think it was a 7-player game. It was a game that, in my opinion, scales really, really well because the core mechanic is that there are 2 different pirate ships, and in an even number of players, half the players are French, half of them are British. And so you want to have the most gold whenever the game ends. But you can't ever see each other's cards, and so it's kind of like a deception game in a way, but you don't know who's on your team. But then if there's an odd numbered amount of players, and there's also a Dutch player who his goal is to have everything be tied. And so based on where you are in the ship or on the island of Tortuga, you have different roles that you can fill. And so it's kind of like an area manipulation where it's like, well, I want to be the captain so I can do this to you, but then other people may try to mutiny the captain. And the way that actions work is depending on what role you have in your area, you can call, it's called calling a vote. And your cards can be used to vote for either attacking or another ship, doing a mutiny, or like plundering the island, something like that.
It was a brawl.
And so, yeah, brawl, that's what it's called. Thank you. It's like where the gold on the island goes to, the British or the French side. And so everybody that's either in the island or the ship of the person who called this thing, they play a vote card face down. And then there's always a random one that comes from the deck, so you can't have perfect knowledge. And so you can kind of start to figure out what other people are based on the cards that come out. But again, you won't know 100% because there's always that one from the deck. And then especially if there's a Dutch player who sometimes is for the French and sometimes is for the British, it's even harder to find out. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. By the end, it was kind of like a big reveal whenever we figured out who really was on our team, because I remember there was one guy, I think me and Will, we were both, was it French?
Yeah, we
And
were both in the same team. Like, you literally knew I was on your team by, I think, second turn.
I think we knew that we were on the same team, but then we were trying to debate between 2 other people because both people helped us at one point and also seemed to have hurt us at one point. So it was a fun, I don't want to call it quite a party game, but more of a social game, and I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I love the theme. I'm a pirate guy all the way.
Yeah, Carlos loves pirates.
Merchants and
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot
Marauders,
of
Tiny
pirate-
Epic Pirates. There's not a lot of good pirate games.
I think there's a lot of them, but maybe not a lot of good ones, right?
Yes, there's a lot of them, just not
Yeah.
a lot of good ones. And I love the small size.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's got a little bitty neoprene mat. It's high quality components. I also demoed, and I think Will caught the tail end of it, though he didn't play it. Their newest one, Bristol. I don't remember the year. Bristol something.
Well, yeah,
which is
about
kind of
the
ironic that
plague.
it's just coming out because it's about the plague. You know, of course, during a pandemic they released this game, And I didn't enjoy that one as much. I didn't pick that one up, but I did enjoy it enough to warrant a mention. It's the same kind of idea, but instead of sides, some of you may get the plague, and only you know if you have the plague. And there are these different carts trying to escape outside the city. And it's the first to escape without the plague. The problem is, if anybody with the plague is on your cart, without knowing it, you've contracted the plague and you don't win. So the idea is if you get the plague, you don't want to let other people know, and your hope is that everybody gets the plague. And then I don't remember how it works, but there's a way for the plagued people to win. So it's a similar concept, but it starts off essentially with everybody on one team, and slowly some people, without everybody knowing, switching to the other team. And it's a small footprint, same kind of thing, little neoprene mat, folds up into a book. I really like the content that this publisher's putting out.
Yeah, it looks like it's definitely a theme, and there's a little book-looking boxes that they put them in is kind of a cool thing. I've seen that with the kids' games. There's that series where I don't know, they've got a bunch of with like Little Red Riding Hood, the Three Little Pigs. There's I forget what that series is, but they make them all look like little books. So I have them at home. I've got like 3 of them on my bookshelf, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. The only complaint I guess I'll make is I was actually just organizing my game shelf earlier, and it's hard to tell what it does look like a book. So like if somebody walks in and
Right.
I say, hey, what do you want to play? I feel like they could very much look over it,
Yeah.
you know, but no, I like it. I guess that's part one of many Gen Con game recaps that I can have planned for in the future.
Awesome.
But yeah, I don't want to take too much from your themes tonight, since I don't have anything to say about it, because I'm a noob in that aspect. So you guys have a good show. Thanks.
But
for
I got to ask, though. I mean, don't run away, sir.
Okay.
He's like, get out of here.
Okay.
You haven't played them because you haven't had, and by them I mean Roll and Rights, because you haven't had opportunity, or because you've chosen to stay away from them. Which is it?
So, okay, I've never outright turned down the opportunity to play one, but I have friends that have them, and on board game nights, whenever we're trying to pick what to play, and they would say, hey, you want to play like this Roll and Write or this other game? My vote always goes the other way. So I guess I technically have the opportunity that I guess I, in theory, turned down because it didn't intrigue me.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
now, if it's brought to the table and everybody at the table wants to play it, I will play it. But that has never happened. Maybe it's just my game group. We don't play a lot of them.
I think we're a Roll and Write heavy group here in Tampa.
yeah, we have a few that really like the Roll and Rights.
So we make them happen.
Yeah.
Especially as in between games on game days, when we're trying to figure out who's showing up, we can grab 4 or 5 people, get into a Roll and Rights tend to allow anywhere from like 0 to 99 players.
Yeah.
Depending on how many sheets you have.
I'd say they tend to be a good either first game or last game of the night, either kind of a warm-up game while you're waiting for everybody to show up, like you said, or at the end of the night, if you've got like 30 minutes before the shop closes and everybody's just looking for a quick one last game to unwind a little bit, maybe after that big brain burner. Although there are a couple of brain-burny Roll and Rights, but most of them tend to be light, tend to be quick.
Which is probably why Mitchell's skipping over them. So that makes sense. Mitchell's thinking the bang for his buck is not going to be there for that deep game experience.
Yeah, they tend to be luck-based, not all of them, but again, a lot of them do because you're either rolling or you're depending on a flip of a card. But go ahead, Mitchell.
I'm kind of changing the topic, but you guys reminded me of something that I can't believe I forgot to bring up. So you guys are mentioning Roll and Rights and Thinky games, and made me think of Dinosaur Island Roar and Ride, which I have not played, but I played Dinosaur World that just came out. You guys haven't gotten that one to the table yet, have y'all?
No, not me.
Nope. Haven't.
Okay.
Dinosaur Island, but Dinosaur World is different, right?
Yeah, it is different.
Right. So I'd never played any of the Dinosaur Island games or the Roar and Ride. So my friend taught me Dinosaur World, and I'm thinking, oh, this is like a fun little dinosaur game, you know, blah, 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 blah. I think that was the most stressed out I've ever been during any board game I have ever played.
Really?
So the mechanics are not hard to grasp, but the way it works is at the beginning of each turn, you're drafting cards that dictate what color meeples you get. And then those 9 meeples, like the color doesn't matter. You can use them for anything. But if you match up the colors to certain actions, it does better. But those 9 meeples you have to use throughout your whole turn, and you have to budget them accordingly. So I think there's 3 different phases that you have to use them during. And like it's a tight game in terms of resources. There's like DNA, and there's money, and there's excitement. Like if people get bored, if they see the same thing over and over again, there's all these resources you're trying to manage with these 9 meeples. But it's not like you do a little part, then you get new meeples. It's like you are planning for the next 20 minutes whenever you draft this card, and then it took us so long because it was only a 3-player game, but we were all getting the heaviest analysis paralysis I have ever experienced because it's just that sprawling. So
Wow.
I would not recommend that game, actually. And you guys know how much I like heavy games. But
Yeah.
it stressed me out. I was like, I'm supposed to be playing games to have fun, not to be like sweating it out.
Is that the same company that made Dinosaur Island?
Yes.
I believe it is.
Yeah. I don't know if it's technically a sequel, but it has the same iconography. And I was told it has a lot of similar mechanics, though I've not played the Dinosaur Island.
And those gorgeous dice?
Yeah.
Does it have
Yeah,
the
the dice are
gorgeous?
cool.
The dice are beautiful.
Yeah, it looks kind of like amber, something like that.
Yes.
It's just basically taking the
Yeah.
park aspect and make it, larger.
I do like that Jurassic Park. Robert, I understand you watched Jurassic Park this weekend?
Part of it.
Yeah. He's not a fan. I'm trying to get him to like it.
I've watched it once or twice, but I know you quote all the time from Jurassic Park, and I'm like, what? What's that from? So yeah.
All right, Mitchell. Well, thanks for
Have
the
you guys
update on
played-
the Gen
Oh,
Con
sorry.
games. But you got another one?
Yeah.
Hit us.
No, I was just going to say, this game, just to give you a feel, if you guys have played Suburbia with the tile laying, like if
Yes.
this
Oh,
tile
yeah.
is next to this tile kind of thing,
Yep.
it has that mechanic in it with the added fact of putting dinosaurs on them and driving around it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, I've seen that. Yeah. Cool.
Do you like the Bezier style games, Mitchell? The tile lane, Suburbia,
No,
Maglev,
It's too much like a puzzle.
Whistle, Stop.
He
Yeah.
doesn't like that kind of stuff.
Trying to solve a little puzzle.
No.
No.
That might be what turned him off on
Not
this
my
one.
thing.
Yeah.
The tile lane aspect.
Tile placement. Yeah.
Bezier does a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Bezier. Yeah.
Not my thing.
Okay. Well, we
Okay,
will
you guys have a
get
good show.
you
Thanks for the
into a
chat.
roll
I
and
feel
ride.
like I was all over there tonight. But yeah, hey, at the retreat,
At the retreat, let's do some roll
We'll
rights.
see you in
Bring a roll and ride.
about.
Let's
try one or
was
two
it
of them and
2
see.
or 3 weeks.
3 weeks, I
It's
think,
three
yeah.
3 weeks. Yeah.
3 weeks from now,
3
we're
weeks
going to
from
see Mitchell
yesterday.
in Orlando for the Dice Tower retreat.
Yep.
And we will roll and write you to death.
We'll do it.
I don't know about that. That's
We'll
one.
try a few. I'm saying just test the waters here. Let's just try a few.
Okay.
He's going to
I
walk
agree.
away after one.
We'll see.
He's like, this thing sucks. I'm not doing this. It's stupid.
Well, there's going to be like 200 other people I can go game
Oh
with,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
like
You don't have to. You don't have to stick with us. Yeah. But thanks for calling. Have a good
One
evening.
roll and ride, and then I'm out.
Yep. We'll talk to you hopefully next
All
week.
right.
All right, homie. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, he's not going to want to talk or play with you guys after you have your Taco Bell run.
Oh, man.
Oh, come
don't be
on.
distant on the Taco
Yeah.
Bell run.
Yeah,
That's
don't
number
go
one
there.
Mexican restaurant in America.
Absolutely.
Still.
And just touching on next week. Is it next week I'm going to be out, or the week after?
I think
It's the week
2
after.
weeks from
2
now.
weeks. 2 weeks. I'm going to be out. So we got to make sure we haven't talked to William yet, but we got to make sure you're here to fill in. Oh, we got another call coming in.
It's the first time hearing about this.
Beans and Ice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Yo, it's Lorenzo from
Hey!
Seattle, Washington.
See, this is what we needed. We needed a roller right expert.
Enthusiast.
Enthusiast.
Don't
Listen.
listen to that guy who
Oh,
called in
Mitchell.
before,
Mitchell
man.
don't like
He
his rolling
doesn't know.
rights.
Mitchell doesn't know what he's talking. He doesn't know what he's missing out on. It's
I will say Mitchell's a guy who definitely knows what his mechanics are.
He sticks
What
to
he
his
likes.
sticks
No,
to
I
his
know.
strength.
He
Yeah.
sticks in his world.
Yeah.
But if you can't claim that you dislike something that much if you've never given it a true.
William would disagree with you on that.
What game?
Everything.
What's a mechanic? Well, I mean, what's a mechanic that William likes or that he doesn't like, even though he's never tried it?
No, I've tried most of the mechanics. There's just games. I just
He
won't
usually say
like
that with
them.
games like Red Rising. He'll say he hates it, yet he's never played it.
I've seen you guys play it, and it just looks like. I'm sorry. What were you talking about? What was that? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Well, stick to your strengths, right?
Hour and a half later,
Yeah.
still playing the same deck builder.
Mm.
Give us that Pacific love on roll and rights. What are things, Mike, that you enjoy that draw you to the roll and write genre?
It's a different game every time you play it. You know, if you're playing with a bunch of people at the table, the thing that I enjoy the most, especially if it's one that you can have multiple people, because there are some that are just limited to like 4 players or whatever it may be. But when you if you're chucking dice or you're flipping cards and you're like, okay, well, this seems like the most, logical way that I'm going to, work my paper here. And you're halfway through the game and you're looking at everybody else's paper and everybody at the table is doing it 100% different than you are. But they're still like in the game still. Like they still have a great chance of winning. To me, that's like one of the biggest parts of it. It's just like, oh man, I didn't even think about doing it that way. Or, just to me, that's a big part of it. Another one is just,
roll and writes tend to be, you played more roll and writes than I have, but tend to be kind of a puzzle that you want to master. You want to find out the way to do it. So I guess I can certainly see that that's a plus for some people and probably a minus for others, depending on kind of games they like or their type of personality or whatever. But a lot of the roll and writes I've played, what you saying that kind of makes me think that it is. A lot of times it's a puzzle. You're trying to figure out where to place things, how to put things in, how to, and there's all different ways to do that, but they're very puzzly.
True. And another part of it is that you technically really can't plan too many steps ahead because the rolls or flips could be, for the most part, they could just be, the same thing over and over again, or they could be 100% different every single time.
Yeah.
Where you might have to mitigate a bad roll or a bad flip where you're going to have to give up, part of your plan. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like roll and writes where if you're building up for something, like if there is a roll and write like Calico,
yeah,
where you're building up the entire game and then you get one bad roll toward the end and that ruins your entire game.
Yep.
That's not a well-designed roll and write, in my opinion.
That's great.
There has to be a way to.
Great comment, because that was going to be my next question to you: is what are things in roll and writes that turn you away from those roll and writes? So you were saying about that like randomness towards the end is what you said it.
I think if everything is based off of luck, that would be a poorly designed roll and write. Even though roll and write is basically luck every time you're chucking dice, but there should always be some way, or a majority of the time, there should be a way that you can mitigate it, so that even though it may not be exactly what you want, you can still kind of, I might get a couple of points from this and not as many as I originally wanted to, but I can still continue playing the game and have a chance at winning. It's that sort of thing. So to give some examples, I think people that are into roll and writes, if you mention Welcome To, that's usually a game that everybody will enjoy. I like On Tour. It does definitely take a game or two to kind of get the hang of it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
As far as like a strategy going, love Cartographers. Seven Bridges is another great one. That one usually plays pretty quick and is pretty strategic. And that's another one where you think you got it, like, oh, this is the best way to do this. And somebody else at the table is just totally different than what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So those would probably be close to my top three. I'm trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. I don't have my games
what do you think
here
of
quite yet, so I can't
like Hadrian's Wall? Obviously, they tried to go big and deep and long and make it almost a board game, full strategy board game.
I love the game. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to think if that really classifies as a flip and fill, because it's a lot more resource management than really relying on your cards. Is there such thing as a resource and fill type of game?
They call it a flip and fill.
There is now. Trademark Beans and Dice.
They advertise it as a flip and fill, but
I think this game's more like taking an SAT.
That Excel spreadsheet you're filling out?
Yeah. It can be, yeah.
I just listened to Shut Up and Sit Down had a podcast recently, and they talked about Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of this banter and joking about it, like in bad ways, but then at the end they said it was great.
Yeah, I liked it.
They all loved it.
I liked it a
but
lot.
they all also were able to banter and joke about it.
Yeah.
Because it does feel a little too far, too extreme.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, they tried to push a flip and fill or
two
roll right to
sheets.
two
There's two full-size
Here's the thing.
sheets.
Have you played that yet, Carlos?
He has not.
Dice Tower Retreat will be when we play it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know Rob and William have. What do you two guys think about Hadrian's Wall?
Well, I got 100% win rate, so I'm good.
Yeah, want to know? I played it once and I didn't win, but I still really liked it. But like I say, I mean, it was definitely, I think, trying to push the boundary. They were trying to take some basic mechanics, and again, what you want to call it, a full flip and fill. That's the way they advertised it when it first came out. But they did try to really push that, just filling in some boxes on a 2 sheets of paper. So that was pushing it. But it felt like they were trying to make it a full strategic board game, and I think they mostly succeeded. I mean, it's still on the light side.
It's a pretty heavy strategic game.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to remember. I've only played it the one time, and that's the one thing before I teach Carlos. We're gonna have to find somebody who.
I remember that game because it looks like two separate board maps.
Yeah,
like board game map, brand new boards.
Got 2 things you're doing.
Because the artwork on the background is also part of the game. There's a wall. There's an actual wall there, little chain links and stuff like that. So it looks like they took the 2 sheets that you filled out and they actually made 2 boards, like 2 game boards.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have saved some
Okay.
room and maybe squeeze it all on one sheet, but then it would probably be too confusing. But
Yeah, I think it would have been too much for one sheet.
The way I did it was I knew that one sheet was just the wall, focus on the wall and resources. The other one was the one where you use all your combos on.
Right.
That's how I
and
played the
that's
game.
I was just gonna say, like, the times that you guys played, so you only played once, I think, or twice for you, William. You get that feeling where it's like, I've got 2 resources here, but I really need to do this. And then you start looking all over the board. Okay, well, if I switch this for this, and then I switch that for that, then I can do this. And you feel like a genius, even though you're not, at the end of your turn. You just feel like, I just, cracked the code on this one move to get, this one resource, 3 moves later to allow me to get these points. It's like one of those, this light bulb goes off over your head and you just start, pounding away at it,
Yeah, it's definitely combo-tastic. That's the big thing that they've always talked about, and that's the big draw. Like I said, there's a lot of resource management, a lot of shuffling things here and there. But when you hit those combos and you start filling in this one, which gives you this resource that you can then use to fill in that one, to then give you that, and then you just you end up with a little stack of wooden bits in front of you. It's kind of a good feeling. It's like, oh, look what I created. I'm going to keep using these things and keep triggering things. So yeah, if you like combos that go off in games, sometimes it'll take you. You'll have a round where you really won't do a whole lot. You're just filling in some blank space, but then that after I fill in these 2 blank spaces, that's going to combo that, which is going to combo that, which is going to combo that. So yeah, it really can get going. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I would say if Mitchell likes chunky games, and I think he does, I would say put Hadrian's Wall in front of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically, quote unquote, not a roll and write, but it is somewhat of a flip and fill.
Sure.
Put that in front of him, and if he doesn't like that game, I don't know what game. Well, maybe Welcome To, but still,
I was thinking Welcome To would be a good start.
Yeah, I think that'd be better.
And then Hadrian's Wall as the main course, right? Like the appetizer would be like, maybe cartographers.
What about On Tour first?
On Tour, man. That to me, that's. Although it's easy to just fill in numbers, you're just going to score like 5 points.
You can.
And he probably.
I think I just played solo the other night. Diego Ordenza posted about the new roll and write from Stonemaier Games, and that got me feeling like I want to play a roll and write. So I soloed a play of On Tour because I tried to read the rules of the Stonemaier ones. My brain was fried, so I just go do something I know. I scored 8.
Nice. Yeah,
8.
That can happen. That can happen. If you try to get a whole combo of numbers over on the left side and then a combo of numbers on the right side, I just need those 2 numbers to connect the whole thing together.
And it just didn't.
And you don't get those ones in the middle. Yeah, it can really mess you up.
And especially that starting setup where you kind of roll to randomly place.
Yep.
And you got just this random assortment of numbers, so there's no like real place to say I want to start here.
Yeah.
So On Tour takes 2, 3, 4 times to remember how to play stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a nice looking little roll, right?
I think with Mitchell, you have to pick the best one first.
So Hadrian's
I
Wall.
think if he gets I think if he gets a whiff of like, this really isn't for me, he may not give another one a try.
Yeah.
So we got to get him on the rolling right bandwagon.
All right, we'll start with the heavy stuff.
Start with something good.
And shut up and sit down described it as a fast setup Euro game. Like a easily set up Euro game.
Yeah.
It is a fast setup. I will agree with that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I will give it a try.
All right, cool.
Oh, West Coast wise, are you set up? Are you figuring out the gamescape landscape out there? Jumping into any groups?
I'm still figuring things out over here. We still haven't gotten our furniture yet. So.
Oh, boy.
You don't need furniture to game.
Well, you need games to game.
Just need a blank spot on the floor. I'm sure you took something. Come on, you took something in your pocket, right?
What about recon of the area, game store wise? How's that going?
I'll be honest. We got in Sunday night, and one of our cats ran into some like stress issues on the drive over, and we kind of took it easy with him. But it's really, my wife started a new job. You have to like get all your addresses changed over. I'm trying to get the insurance, worked out. I'm still figuring out how to get, because we put all our stuff in a pod and had it shipped over here, and it doesn't arrive until a week from this Friday.
Oh, wow.
No truck drivers, man. There's no truck drivers on the road.
Oh, man. All right. We'll have to catch you in the next couple weeks then to catch up and hear how you are.
Yeah.
How you're settling in, what you're playing, what you're doing. Yeah.
I mean, we both love it here. I mean, we've been sitting with the windows open for the past week, and it's just awesome weather. And,
Until it starts snowing.
Seattle really doesn't see a lot of snow, honestly,
Okay.
But so anyway, we're holding out, and we're
glad you made it well. Glad you made it safe.
So am I.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
And we'll keep in touch. And once you get your computer set up,
you guys over there.
Once you get that computer set up, we're gonna get your ugly face back on this big screen TV.
Sure. Yeah. Once you get all settled
My face made for radio.
Get back.
That's exactly right.
Get back to some podcasting, okay?
Sounds good, my friends.
Take care. Be safe.
See you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, man. Take care. Bye.
All right, that was Mike Lorenzo from,
Seattle. Now Seattle. I got to change that.
Phone line's open, 813-618-7099. We're talking rolling rights or whatever else it is you want to talk about.
Absolutely. So, let's touch on some of our favorites or some that we played. Well, let's. What's the first rolling right either of you have ever played? Do you remember what your first rolling right was?
Like that has to be.
Okay.
Like if you never played Yahtzee.
Outside of Yahtzee.
I don't know what family Mitchell grew up in.
Yeah, never played Yahtzee. I've never heard of that before. But outside of Yahtzee, because I played...
not outside, because Yahtzee is a starter.
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
for sure. Yeah.
And then my wife loves Yahtzee.
But given that everybody's played Yahtzee, what was your
Not
next...
everybody. Mitchell's not a...
He doesn't count.
No, he doesn't count.
He doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I will say on that Yahtzee front, designed by Richard Borg, is Yahtzee Free-for-All.
Yeah, that's right.
My wife loves Yahtzee Free-for-All.
Forgot about that one.
Richard Borg, designer of Memoir 44, Command and Colors, Ancient, all the Command and Colors series. We can go for days. Battle Lore, right? That's Richard Borg designed. Also, Liar's Dice. He designed that one. But he also designed Yahtzee Free-for-All. Yahtzee Free-for-All is a roll and write game where instead of Yahtzee where you're all playing off your own separate scorecard, that means nothing. Oh, here goes Mitchell. I didn't realize that mentioning the fact that I'd never played a roll and write would result in being bullied for the entire. Yes.
Yeah.
It would result in that.
Yeah, for sure.
See, David Carlton's with me. Yahtzee. Wayne Kruger says he's looking over the list of top roll and writes, and the only ones that he's played are all in app form.
Yeah.
Hashtag cancel beans and dice.
I think. I think a lot of people that whole app. I think roll and writes convert to apps
so
really
much
well.
better.
Yeah, so smoothly.
But in Yahtzee Free-for-All, what you're doing is you're going to play like Yahtzee, which is not, unlike normal Yahtzee where you're playing on a score map of your own, you're actually sharing scoring objectives. So the perimeter of the board is going to have these cards. The cards are going to be different objectives. Objectives are going to include like most threes, most twos, most ones, triples, quadruples, Yahtzee, right, rolling six of a kind. And as you roll out your dice, you're going to then grab one of those cards to score it with the dice that you've rolled. Once you grab it, you also grab any poker chips that are on that card. At the end of your roll, whatever cards you did not grab out of the three scoring options gets a poker chip. So any cards that stay there start to add in point value as they go. We go around the board. Everybody gets their opportunity to do their Yahtzee 3-roll thing and then add chips. And we go around until somebody pulls the last card from the start pile, or you can't place any more poker chips, I think it is. And then the game ends, and then you score based on how many cards you got. Each card scores a different value, and then add your poker chips that you picked up from those scores. And the box is a dice tray, all in one.
Yeah.
Yahtzee Free-for-All is, if you like Yahtzee, that is definitely your next family step. Richard Borg, awesome designer.
I'm telling you, it's got a solid 6.3 on the old BGG.
You say that with such vile.
Oh, no. That's sincere honesty.
I think it's because it's a mass market game, or
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
That's why. It's the only reason why.
It's got the name Yahtzee on it.
It's a fun game, a fun version of Yahtzee. So
I'll play this over regular Yahtzee all day.
Yeah, me too. And I agree. I mean, you introduced me to this a few years back, and I laughed at first, but it was fun. It was fun. We've got the kids to play, and yeah, it's a good time.
All right, Robert, what about you? Notable rolling rights for you.
Well, notable. The first one that I can remember outside
Pick one,
of
then we'll
Yahtzee,
go to William.
I think was Quicks, and that's a mass market. I mean, you can buy Quicks now at Target. You can buy it at Walmart. You can buy it at the checkout counter.
Oh, you don't know Quicks?
I'll bring up Quicks. I'll bring up some pictures of it here. But yeah, real light, real easy.
Maybe I've seen it and I just didn't know what it was.
And you may have. I brought it to several game days.
You know how sometimes we get a board game, the Puerto Rican family. We just open it up. We just use the components for other things.
And you have it over there somewhere. I'm trying to figure out how to spell it. It's is it QWI? Yes. There it is. QWIXX. Got it. Oh, it brought down half of the thing there.
Nope. Sorry.
Carlos has got it. It's got a little. This one of the first reasons I bought it was for the little magnetic box. This is one of the first games I can remember that had the little magnetic close on it.
Oh my god.
Very cool. But it's just a set of dice. It's 5 colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 2 white dice. And all you're doing is you're rolling. There's a couple mechanics. I won't get into all the details, but you're rolling the dice. You have a little pad here. You're just marking off. You have to go left to right.
And then, left to right, but the numbers on the top 2 colors go in ascending.
And the next 2 go descending. So you want to roll the high numbers in the blue and the green first, and you want to roll low numbers on the yellow and the red first. You can skip over numbers and mark off other numbers, but as you move across, you can never go back and mark off a number before. And what you're trying to do is you got to mark off, it's 5 in a row to then eventually roll either a 12 or a 2, depending on the color, and then you can lock that die.
And that's the player interaction piece.
Right. You can block other people out and when you lock the die, you're going to take that die out of the rest of the game, and nobody else can then score any on that color. So you're trying to fill them up, lock those die. I believe that's the in-game condition as well, is once 2 of the 4 or 3 of the 4 are locked, then the game ends, and then you just go across. At the bottom, there's a multiplier depending on how many you marked off on each color. So if you marked off 1 in a color, you get 1 point. If you marked off like 5, you get 15. If you marked off 8, you get 36. So it multiplies as you get more and more of each color. But this is a game that in this little box, I would carry a couple little pins. I'd just throw them in this box, and then it's just the dice and then a stack of score pads. And I played this game quite a bit. Again, it was a quick little pickup.
Wait, was that a pun?
Quick little pickup.
Do you know there is a deluxe version of this?
Is there?
It comes in a bigger box, and every player is going to get a cardboard
I've seen it.
laminated board.
That's right. Yep.
With the dry erase markers. This one's just pencil and paper.
Yep.
But the Quicks Deluxe gives you the same size dice, but you get a nice big board with markers, the dry erase markers, so you can cross off your pieces there. Rob, I'm with you. This is definitely a notable starter.
Fun one. It's quick.
William, we know you're not a roll and write fan, right?
But the camera on Will. There we go.
There we go. You're not a roll and write fan, but is there any roll and write you've played that you would play again?
The zombie version of
Welcome to.
Yeah.
Oh, you enjoyed that one?
Yeah, because it's zombies.
Just because there's zombies in there. So you don't enjoy the game in general, but the zombies spice it up a little for you?
The base game is just like, man.
Yeah.
It just is, but the zombies version makes it to where it feels like, oh, I'm playing a game.
Okay.
Because, the zombies will attack. They can do something. They can destroy houses. You can lose. It seems to be more punishing for the bad mistakes you make.
You really like to get beat up in gaming.
No, I just like to see people struggle.
That's a good point. That's the fun part about it. And I think that's one of the things that Michael Lorenzo brought up in his phone call. By the way, phone calls. We're still a phone show. 813-618-7099.
Call us.
Nick Oben, when he...
Right, but tell me Mike wasn't wrong about that. People who can't deal with change
Right.
with agility.
The best is Nick, because everyone's quiet and everyone's just like, oh damn, or we're dropping bombs left and right. Then like something will happen. Nick is like, well, if I had that last round, and I'm like, yes, we know that's the name of the game, and he just loses it, and then it's just I don't even have to play. I can just watch him play it, and it's just pretty funny. But That's So Clever is probably.
That's funny because 2 comments here from Wayne Kruger Wayne and David in the chat. So I'll scroll back up here. And
Ganshan,
because Wayne talks about after playing Ganshan Clever on the app, not sure I would ever bother with the physical game.
The app makes them streamlines all that.
Which there's our copy of Ganshan Clever. You can see we love roll and rights here at the Beans and
got
Dice.
A few, yeah.
Wayne, I will disagree with you. We've played this at, was it Villagen or Perkins? We had Pie.
I think it was Perkins, yeah.
Was it Perkins?
Perkins,
We
yeah.
actually played that at Dice Tower.
We had Pie while playing this at 3 a.m.
Yep.
It's got such a small footprint. The thinking is there, or you can just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Shoot the moon and try to win.
Yeah.
So Wayne, I would say on the app, I'm with you. I've played the app. It's kind of checking boxes, but when you play with friends and like Will said, watch them struggle.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Watching people try to make
Give that one a
decisions,
try.
yeah.
Give the physical one a try, Wayne. David talks about Ganshan Clever has been my favorite roll and write, and Welcome to favorite flip and fill. Look at
Those are
that.
2 solid ones. They're right
Bam,
there.
bam, bam,
Hit them both.
bam. So that's David Carlton out of, I believe, like Ruskin area, Tampa. Then Wayne comes back and says he wants to try Welcome to. Lots of buzz. Seems interesting.
It's
so
a good
William's
one.
talking about it.
Yeah.
I love Welcome to. For me, the theme.
The variability, the different cards that can come up for the different plans that you're trying to complete different things. It's got a lot of variability from game to game.
But what I also like about it is, although I do enjoy the randomness of flip and fills, which makes you have to be agile in your decision making, kind of go with what you get, not just try to shoot the moon. The difference is with Welcome to, because it is a flip and fill with cards, you're going to generally see the full spectrum of numbers available.
Sure.
So you kind of know the odds of what's coming based on what's been played, and you can plan more.
Yeah.
Right. You kind of make mistakes, but you can plan more. And I think, Robert, you enjoy that part of Welcome to.
Yeah, I do. I like knowing that, like you say, that there's so many 2s, there's so many 4s, so many 8s, so many 10s in the deck, and I think there's more of them as they get closer to the middle numbers, and then it's harder to get the outside numbers. But just knowing that allows you to make some better decisions on when you're gonna when a 12 comes up, everybody's jumping on that 12. It's like, I gotta fit that 12 in there somewhere because we may not see another 12 this whole game, but you're gonna see lots of 5s and 6s and 7s. So you kind of plan for that, and that's good. Another thing I really like about Welcome to is the fact that there's three stacks, 3 decks, and so a lot of the roll and writes or the flip and fills, you're flipping something, you may have 1 or 2 options of where to put something, but in this one you got the 3 different rows of houses, you've got 3 different decks that you're flipping stuff on, so you've got a lot of little decisions to make, and again, knowing the odds is a big part of that, knowing that there's so many swimming pools in the deck, knowing that there's so many all those little things, so you kind of weigh the odds, and when something comes up that's rare, again, everybody's trying to jump on it, but then later in the game, people start blocking themselves out of places where they can put those things, and so you got to make those decisions. Like, okay, do I hold out hope for that 1 in 50 chance that perfect thing's going to come up, and I'm going to hit that big multiplier and get a big score, or do I play it kind of more down the middle of the road and just you're pulling out all the rolling rights, so you got a stack of them now, but
no, he's got more back there.
Yeah, a little more down the.
Mitchell had a question, so I'm going to answer his question.
Okay, go ahead.
What's
Jump
the
over.
question?
So Mitchell says, these games seem to have little to no thematic connection to the mechanics. As someone who values theme, Carlos, how can you justify rolling rights?
There you go.
And
Oh, he hasn't played the pinball game.
see,
Oh,
you
okay,
can't
the
justify
4K.
him with an attitude like that, sir. That's not going to be
Not
justified.
even trying.
All right, so Ganshan Clever, and it's bigger brother, thrice as twice as clever.
Dopplet, so clever.
And then isn't there a thrice as clever now?
There's another one. I don't know if it's the third. Yeah, if
I
it's
can't
the thrice,
justify
but
these
yeah.
for theme at all.
Yeah, no.
These are
Those just
Excel
rolling
sheets
dice and-
with
yeah,
dice.
just
Okay.
filling in blocks. Yeah.
However, my friend, when it comes to Welcome to,
yeah,
I totally feel like a designer or at least a planner
city planner,
of a
yeah.
suburbia.
Yep.
I'm filling in pools. I'm hiring workers. I'm making cul-de-sacs.
Yep.
Like it kind of just jives
putting-
really, really well.
putting up fences,
And even William talked about it because I have all the expansions. He talked about the zombie version.
Yep.
well, the zombie version with bullets and bombs going off and zombies attacking houses. Then you got the Halloween where you're trying to pick up candies.
Christmas.
Then the Christmas one.
Easter.
Right. It's all there, man.
It's one game that has all of that.
And each one of those, one of the big things is a lot of times, like what they're doing right now with Patchwork, it's the same game, it's just a different design. They're just showing different
I think I have
things.
4 different versions of Patchwork.
There you go. This one, every one of the expansions for all the different holidays and the different seasons they've done all introduce a different mechanic to the game, which is really cool. So Easter eggs, you're trying to discover these Easter eggs. So the zombies, they're breaking into houses, and so you have to wall off houses so they can't break in and get you negative points or whatever. So yeah, every one of them adds a little twist to it.
So that's theme.
Yeah.
Right. And then, I mean, I think, Robert, you are.
Yeah,
this is your theme where you live.
Yeah, Imperial Settlers. That's all me. I love me some Imperial Settlers. So
I haven't had the opportunity to play this one, but Robert can attest to the theme from Imperial Settlers flows over into the roll and write.
Yep. And this one's a great app. Speaking of apps again, this one's
deeper though.
Yeah,
I tried to read the rules and get into this one. This one is like I want Robert to teach
Well, if
me.
you haven't played that, yeah, I've played a lot of.
We'll take it with
roll
us
and
to
write.
Dice
Oh
Up.
yeah, for sure. Okay, cool.
All right, and then let's keep going into that theme world.
Cartographers,
my friend.
That's a hotness now.
Look at this. See, okay, so for my version, see, I'm getting excited here about this theme
roll
stuff.
right. You get all excited. Mitchell touched a nerve.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
If you can look at my box, I have colored pencils in here. Why do I have colored pencils in here? Because I'm drawing a map for the queen. Like I'm literally sitting down, drawing little green trees and little yellow wheat fields, and I'm doing blue rivers.
Yeah.
If you ever played D&D growing up like I have and drew maps like in school while you're not paying attention to whatever the teacher's talking about, Cartographers
we can
is
tell.
for you.
Especially in English class.
I never finished high school.
Mitchell,
There's a reason for that.
Carlos keeps looking at the chat, Mitchell, so he's waiting for you to rebut. So jump on in there. Don't be shy.
Apologize, sir. It's a theme. And then finally, I think I'm going to go with the biggest of the themes. This one here of all roll and writes, connected theme to mechanisms like I've never seen before.
That one's cool.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
And I do believe this is a... who was it? Yeah, Engelstein. This is an Engelstein game.
Okay.
Jeff Engelstein, like he's like a nuclear physicist or something.
Sure.
Something real crazy. I
Look
think
him up,
David
yeah.
Carlton was just talking about Engelstein in his recent comment.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's a genius. Super skill pinball arcade. If you're old enough to have ever played a pinball machine, Robert and I are old.
Oh, yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
Remember when we played this the first time? You and I both walked away like, holy
I was
crap.
like, that was cool.
This felt like playing a pinball game.
It does.
100% felt like, and you can hear in your head the ding, 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 as the ball bounced around in the carousel.
All bumpers and all that, yeah.
Super Pinball Arcade, a roll and write for the ages. Like this one is legit awesome.
Yeah, that one's fun. Yeah.
And then finally, theme-wise, it's not as heavily connected in theme, but this is the newest one that I picked up. It's Jamie Stegmaier, Stonemaier Games. This is Rolling Realms. I bought this one. This was not a view copy or anything. It's my dollars.
Yep.
Pick this one up because it takes you into all the different lands that Jamie Stegmaier has created.
Diego has just officially made himself the youngest person in the chat room.
Oh, he is, though. Whenever we play a game and it says youngest player goes first, it's like, all right, Diego, you're up. He's the baby of the group. So Rolling Realms, Jamie Stegmaier, Stonemaier Games, it gets you in each of the different realms that you're playing are a different game from Stonemaier. So it kind of gives you that reminisce, that feeling, that joy of all the fun you've had in Viticulture and Scythe and Tapestry in this game. Lots of reminiscing here.
Mitchell says he refuses to rebut for the fear of violence directed his way. So
Oh, that's
this is a friendly show, mostly.
Some of those games got chunky dice. You can just put them in a sock and whip that thing around.
Got the dice over there for Rolling Realms?
They're about the size.
Yeah, about the same size.
The Rolling Realm dice are nice. Keep them away from Rob. Put all the drinks off the table.
Yeah, don't roll them across the table if there's drinks.
You're fine if you have a thing like this where it's all
a little
covered up.
lid. No, I could probably spill that too.
That's why I like William. He comes prepared. So that was Mitchell from Board Game Battles talking about the thematic connection. I hope I was able to explain, sir, why there is a thematic connection. Not all of them, but the really good ones.
And some of them, yeah. Mm.
And then Wayne Kruger says, well, if you add pie to the scenario, that changes things. So I think he's up for Ganshan Clever.
Yeah.
With pie.
At 3 a.m. Yep.
David Carlton talks about drawing a bad card makes me feel like less of a failure than making a bad roll.
Yeah, because the card's already there. It's predetermined.
I think there's a lot of late open night places at Dice Tower. So
yeah, we'll find something. Yeah.
I mean, look at me. Do I look like I've ever given up on pie? We will find it.
Lost City's rolling right. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I haven't played that yet, but I was thinking, I know the card game well. We both enjoyed the card game. But, yeah, we'll have to try that one sometime. That's one I've heard some good things about. That's from Diego.
Oh, Wayne Kruger, you had me at the D&D maps in high school, adding that to the list of games
That'd
to
be
try.
Cartographers, yeah.
So I think Wayne feels my pain when you're bored in high school, you're just drawing D&D maps. But I did see an article in Dicebreaker today. Check out Dicebreaker. I don't remember the whoever wrote it, but they talked about the new dungeon crawl roll and writes that are coming out. And there was like 3 of them they mentioned in there. One of them is a Wizards of the Coast one. So you're going to have almost like Cartographers, a map, and then you're using dice to draw a dungeon, and then you're using dice to move your party or your player, depending on which game, there's multiple versions, through that dungeon to defeat different monsters, gain treasures, and that's how you score. I want to see that theme connection.
Yeah. That sounds interesting. I'm not a big D&D fan, but...
Because it's got theme.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
He did like role player?
Role player.
ROLL player?
Yeah, role player. Yeah.
Which they added the expansion that lets you take what you created and roll with it.
Take it into a dungeon, into a little scenario. Yep.
Yeah, they have a new one. They have another game. It's a real expensive game that came out. It's like over $100.
There was a campaign game they were coming out with, that you could take it. That's probably the same one, but yeah.
And then Diego, of course, has to remind us of our old age and say, what is a pinball machine?
Yeah, I was born in the 70s, so that was near the height of the pinball there for a while. Although I know maybe the 60s. So
we have those retro machine game shops. Those arcades.
I think one of them recently shut down in the area.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, well,
that didn't do so well.
Well,
I never went.
They did okay until things happened.
Yes.
Yeah, that hurts.
Mike from One Mike One Game says, "We love you, Mitchell." And then Hadrian's Wall theme is
in it.
That's it.
Yep, theme is in it.
Theme is in it. Role Player Adventures. That's the one that Mike
Adventures. That's it.
is reminding us of.
That's the one.
The expansion to Role Player.
Right.
I want to see more of that connection of that Dungeons and Dragons. Kind of connecting a dungeon crawl to that. That would make it enjoyable. And so okay, I'm gonna come back to. We talked about some introductory ones. We went through some of our favorites.
Still a few minutes to get a call in if somebody wants to call.
813-618-7099. Phone lines open. What are roll and writes, or what aspects of roll and writes do we not like? I'll lead us off. I struggle when I feel like there's no decision. Right, so I feel like Yahtzee's one of the ones where whatever you roll is what you get. You check the box and pass.
Well,
I almost feel like I didn't even pull that one out. Probably because I feel this way. I almost feel like Railroad Inc. is close to that, where you have to use every one of the dice.
yeah.
What matters is where you place it. As we get towards the end, much like Calico, it really messes you up because you got 4 spaces left, and whatever you rolled is what you got.
Yeah. That's always I've been outspoken on that's what I've discovered that I didn't like with Calico was the fact that as the game went on, it became tighter and tighter and tougher, and you have fewer places to put things. And so I tend to like to try to go for that thing that's going to shoot the moon and give me big points. And when I do that in Calico, and that last tile that I need just never shows up, which it may not, then I've kind of ruined everything I've done up to there. And so I could see Railroad Inc. I never thought about it much that way, but you start off with a big grid, and as you fill stuff in, you get fewer and fewer and fewer places to put things, and you're having to connect things. And so you do start limiting yourself as you get through there, and then like you mentioned, having to use all the dice, having to fill in everything. I mean, I could see that being kind of the same feeling of Calico. You get pushed in, and then if you get something that you just can't use, it can really mess up what you were trying to do, and you could end up leaving a bunch of dead ends when you were trying to connect everything together just because the right die didn't come up the last 2 or 3 rounds. So yeah, I see that.
Mitchell says Railroad Inc. does pique my interest for some reason.
Oh, all right.
And I think this touches back to what David Carlton was talking about in the chat, where he said, I don't feel as bad about a bad flip that doesn't help me as compared to a bad roll. And I agree with him on this. Like Railroad Inc., I had no control of the roll. None. Right? At least with the cards, if you've played enough, you know the spread. You know the odds. And if you didn't play them right, and that last few cards didn't work out your ways because you didn't remember what cards have been played and what odds you had on what's left. So I don't feel as bad. Like, that's my fault.
Yeah.
I didn't card count.
Yeah. I can see
Railroad
that.
Ink, it's like, bleh, what kind of crap did you just vomit on my table, Dice?
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. So, yeah, it gets restrictive. I would agree with that. So any game that restricts me as you go along gives you fewer and fewer choices and fewer optimal choices, and, again, gives you the opportunity just to kind of mess everything up all in one roll. I don't tend to like that. So Railroad Ink was okay with me. I didn't dislike it.
No, it was great. It was a good game.
Yeah.
But it just had that end piece where I could never get, unless you got the perfect roll, that end never paid off.
Wasn't satisfying.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We got BJ from Board Game Gumbo in the chat.
Oh, cool. Hey, BJ.
Phone line is still open, 813-618-7099. We're talking about rolling rights. Looking to hear what you like about them, what you don't like about them, which ones are your favorites. Throw it in the chat or give us a call. Up to you.
Yeah, we've hit a lot of them. I'm trying to think of what else we haven't hit. I'm sure there's tons of them we haven't played yet. So
He brought out almost half the library out there for.
yeah, I know he's got a stack of them. So
And there's some that I still didn't even get to bring out.
yeah, hidden in the corners somewhere.
Rolling rights are good.
I mean, they're not my favorite. I mean, I just like a few. They're one of those games where I know which ones I like and which ones I don't like. I think I don't like Roll and Write as much. I think I like the Flip and Fill.
Yeah, and I know.
Oh wow, Board Game Gumbo with the throwdown there. If we're talking about rando writers,
okay, yeah.
got to give a shout out to Rogers of the Ganges, Dice Charmers.
Dice game.
It's Beyond the Sun of Rollin' Rights. It is not the Beyond the Suns of Rollin' Rights.
We know we got a fan of the old Beyond the Sun over there. Yeah.
God, I wish that game would have hit better for me.
Yeah, and Tom was actually the Dice Tower was talking about he's ordering another copy for the Dice Tower library. He said he's going to have hardly any game in the whole library is going to have 2 copies, but he said that game has been
Beyond the
so
Sun?
popular, Beyond the Sun, that he's going to have to put a second copy in the library because at the last one it was
last call.
Last call of the night.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Christopher from Kentucky.
Hello, Christopher from Kentucky. We're talking about Roll and Write board games. What do you want to chat about?
Did we lose him?
Oh, did we lose him?
Yeah. We'll see.
Uh-oh.
We'll see if he calls back. We'll give him a second.
Okay.
But you're saying Beyond the Sun? 2
yeah.
copies?
Yeah, he's going to get 2 copies. And like I say, he said that, I guess it was at the retreat in Miami last month. He said that game was, I think it was one of the top 2 most checked out games or something. And they just couldn't keep it. He said everywhere he looked, people were playing it. So, massive hit. Again, one that I think we both liked, but neither one of us loved.
And we both did great at it. So it wasn't like... It wasn't like one of those games where you like do terrible at.
I won the first time I played, yeah. And I played with 3 people who knew how to play already. So
Yes, Mitchell, I think my enthusiasm is strong. I've had a couple of cups of coffee. I'm off work tomorrow, so I had a few beers.
Oh, yeah.
We're celebrating, number one, we're celebrating the release of Dune the movie tomorrow.
Yeah. And
Super
something
excited.
else, yeah.
And my 41st birthday. Bam, 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 bam. I made it to 41, y'all.
Yeah.
So we're going to go out and play some Dune Imperium.
Going to play the game Dune Imperium before. I think we're meeting up at 6 o'clock over at Armada Games in Tampa. And then we're going to go see the movie at 9:10 for anybody local who wants to join over at the University Mall. Yeah.
Yep, University Mall over at the Look Dine-In Movies.
Cool.
There's a 9:10 showing. We are seats F11 and F12. I love that, F11.
Be very specific. F11 on the keyboard.
F11 on the keyboard.
F12.
And I'm F12.
Yeah.
So we'll be out there watching Dune. So if you're got nothing on Friday night and you're in the Tampa Bay area, join us. We're going to have a blast. Thank you, fellas, in the chats for the birthday wishes. Mitchell is watching Dune tonight on HBO after the show.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't know, man. I really want to watch it in theater.
I want to see it the first time in the theater.
But, I got a lot of kids at home with the baby and everyone. I just don't want any distractions. I just want me and the movie because that first watch of Dune, the original, was garbage.
Not so good.
But it was great for its time.
Is that because of the movie or because you watched it at home?
I think it's because it was 80s.
Yeah. It showed its age.
The book is old, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's old.
Yep.
Really old. Everything.
Yep. But the old doesn't mean bad. But yes, the book is old. Yeah.
I will say, with my birthday coming up, old isn't bad.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, I guess we're not going to get that call from Kentucky. I feel sad.
Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
That would have added a new state.
Got cut off.
Officially, it was a phone call.
Yeah, it was a phone call.
He said hi. I said hi.
He said it was Kentucky.
We can add Kentucky.
Yeah.
Nope. Can't count it.
Remember the name? Did he say the name?
Nope, he didn't. So they don't count it.
He did.
He did. Was it Chris?
I believe it was Chris from
Chris from
Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
You're in the book now. Kentucky has called in.
Put the pin in it. Yeah.
Put a pin in it.
Well, if maybe next week, Chris, if we missed you, I'm not sure why we lost you there on the phone,
9
but
o'clock.
maybe you can definitely call back next week.
Put it on the board.
Yes.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
All right, folks. David Carlton had already seen Dune. He has been talking about it
That's
in the
right.
chat here, how great
Yeah.
of a movie it was. We got some folks watching it tonight on the HBO, which I don't have, so I will have to wait till tomorrow.
Maybe I'll go home and watch it tonight.
Oh, you have it?
Spoil it. Oh, yeah.
I'm going home with you.
All right, cool. Anyway.
Good night, folks. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm William.
We're the Beans and Dice Podcast. We're a podcast about how we game. Thank you for everyone who chatted in the chat. Thank you for calling. Please share with your friends. Let them know what we're doing here. We want to have more conversations with y'all. We will see you next week. Have a good night. Be safe, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.